Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Wealth After Work, the show dedicated to bringing you in and through your retirement successfully. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and joining me in the studio is Josiah Grauso. He is the Vice President and Senior Investment Advisor at ASC Financial Group. Josiah, my friend, great to be back in the studio with you. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, Kristen. I love being here, and I know today we're going to have an amazing show with a lot of education.
Yes.
And the most important part, I think we're going to have some fun along the way. So for those of you at home, welcome, and sit back and relax. We're going to have a great time today.
Yes, we are. Well, I always enjoy our times together. We share a mutual passion for financial education and having some fun along the way. It's always important, right?
Absolutely. That's the key.
Well, the title of today's show is What's Your Retirement Plan? The reality is there's a lot of confusion out there, and some folks might think that they have a plan, but the reality is having a retirement account is not the same thing as having a comprehensive, holistic financial plan in place for your retirement. So that's what we're going to be diving into today. And really, we're going to shine a light on what having a real retirement plan looks like. We always talk about the importance of having a written plan, and I know you offer your retirement income analysis to viewers as well. What do you actually mean when we say these words, having a solid plan?
Yeah, Kristen, I can't tell you how many times people come into my office and they think that they have a plan, but they just have a bunch of accounts around. They're not too sure how they work, how they fit together, do they complement each other? And so what's really key from that, and one of the things that I notice is that, sometimes I even have people come in and talk to me and they say, you know what, I think we have a plan. I don't have anything written. I don't have anything down. But, my advisor tells me everything should be fine. That's really concerning to me because I don't want a plan that's a hope and a prayer plan.
Right, a strategy of hope, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You should always make sure your plan covers at least 5 key areas.
Okay.
They should cover income. It should cover risk. It should cover taxes. It should cover healthcare, and it should cover legacy.
So much goes into that. And I think to your point, so much of our industry is just focused on the investment management piece. And so much of that is during the accumulation years when we're working and we're putting that money away. But to your point, so much goes into this next phase of life, retirement. All these pieces have to be working together. So let's break it down even further. And let's go through each piece and talk a little bit more about what goes into each aspect of the plan.
Yeah, absolutely, Kristen. So when we take a look at our plan here, when we talk about income, what do I mean by income? Well, we at ASC Financial Group, we follow a simple equation called TR equals I plus G. And that stands for total return is your income plus your growth. And here's the thing. If we're in retirement and we just have things on growth, we can't always count on growth each and every year. Growth may not always happen. We may have some losses from there. It's an unknown. However, if we're talking about the I, income, that stands for interest, dividends, what we know predictably what we'll be able to receive each and every year. That's a known quantity.
Right.
And then we start to get into areas of taxes. One of the big keys with taxes here is you don't want your portfolio, your plan to be reactive to taxes. You want it to be proactive. How is things going to happen in the future that could change your account?
Right.
Most of our listeners out there are going to be maybe in their 60s or 70s, and we've got something called a required minimum distribution. And that's where we have to start pulling our money out of our accounts here. And so as we start pulling our money out of the accounts, that can now start increasing our taxes.
Yep.
And then we have an area of risk that we've got. How much are we going to potentially lose in our portfolio? One of the things I say that's key, Kristen, is it's not what you make, it's what you keep.
Yes.
What is your plan to address that volatility of risk? And part of that, I say, is if that market goes down and you're having all of your money in that G, what is your plan B? What that means is if my market's going down, am I going to have to sell more principal? Am I going to have to take more out of my account that I have? Am I going to have to lower my standard of living? Can I not go on the trips that I've wanted to? Or maybe I've got to go back to work. And I don't know anybody out there who wants to go back to work.
Right. If you want to keep working, that's one thing. We don't want you to have to go back, right?
That's a great point there.
Yeah.
And then we talk about healthcare. What happens if, God forbid, we get sick and we need long-term care?
Yes.
And better than that is, do we want to go to a facility, or do we want to be able to maybe afford to have care come into our homes and help take care of us? I know where I would rather be. And then finally, with legacy, we want to make sure we have a plan that is quick, that is easy, that's passed on. If there's anything we have left over to our loved ones, that's quick to transfer, that's easy to transfer, and that's as tax efficiently to transfer.
Yes, and I love that you brought that up, because, one of the things, I know we say this on the show a lot, but how you make a decision in one area of your financial life can and will affect all the others. That's why you can't afford to look at any one of these pieces in a vacuum. You have to see how they fit together. And to your point, creating greater tax efficiency is a great example. You want to do all of these things we just talked about in the most tax efficient manner. So when you meet with folks for the first time, how often do you find that people actually do have this type of comprehensive plan in place?
I'd hate to say this, Kristen, but more often than not, they don't have this full plan together. They have something what I call a junk drawer, a financial junk drawer, where they may have a lot of statements, a lot of assets, and they've got it all put together, but they don't know necessarily how it's tied together. What I find is it seems like they just wanted to invest in a bunch of things to see what sticks against the wall, but they don't know how it works. We've got a lot of these pieces of a puzzle, but how do they fit together? And I'm going to give you an example of a woman who came to see me last year. Her name is Linda. She's from Boonton, New Jersey. And when she came to see me, unfortunately, her husband passed away 4 months before. But when she came to see me, she brought 2 huge boxes. And inside these boxes, Kristen, there were over 200 statements.
Wow.
I found a statement from 1989 from a CD that got transferred 6 times. You see, here's the problem. Linda did not know what was going on in the financial accounts.
And that's common with married couples, right? Usually one person maybe is handling it more than the other, whether that's the wife or the husband, right?
Absolutely. And she was left completely in the dark. She didn't know what was happening. And so if you think about it at that time period, Kristen, she just lost her husband, and now she's trying to figure out, what do I do with these assets? What do I do with these funds? I don't even know necessarily what we have. That's why it's really important. When I sat down and I talked to her, she said, well, I called the advisor that was on the name here, but he said that Bobby didn't talk to him in the last 4 or 5 years, and so he doesn't know what's going on, and he doesn't think he can help her. And so we took the time to sit down with Linda. We helped organize everything together with her. But that's one of the things that I see as a key when people come sit with me. I want to make sure we sit down together with both spouses, because it is imperative that they are both involved in this process out there. So folks, if you're at home and if you're like Linda and you know exactly what I'm talking about having assets in a junk drawer, and you don't know what you have, how it fits together, if you don't have enough income, if you don't know if we can retire when we want to retire, or be able to retire the way we want, I'm going to encourage you to pick up the phone, give a call at that number below. The team at ASC Financial Group will set up a time for you to come in. We'll go over what's called our retirement income analysis, being able to cover all 5 of these key areas, being able to answer any questions that you have, and be able to lay a plan that may work for you.
Josiah, thank you so much. I'm excited for more folks to connect with you all and be able to clean up their financial junk drawers. And we know that this can be really overwhelming, but the team of ASC Financial Group would love to be able to remove that overwhelm for you. You're just one phone call away. That number to call is 844-918-4867 to claim your complimentary retirement income analysis. Or if you'd rather connect online, we've got you covered. If you simply pull out your smartphone, you can open up that camera app. Just point, click, and scan that QR code that you see there down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That will take you over to a landing page, ask you a few short, simple questions, and then a member of the team will reach out to connect with you to schedule your complimentary meeting that way as well. Don't go anywhere. We've got a lot more great information for you on today's show. We'll be back right after this.
morning, Ben.
Good morning, Ben. Hey, birthday party for Carolyn 5. Happy birthday to you.
Good morning, Ben. Happy Monday.
Daryl's birthday, be there or be square. Happy birthday to you. You can see from our quarterly report on slide number 62, we're trending in the right direction. All signs point to a very positive outlook for the next several years. If you peel back the onion...
Ben, do you have anything to add?
The work never seems to end until the day it finally does. Call today to get your free written financial plan so you may live every day to the fullest and enjoy the retirement of your dreams.
Well, welcome back to Wealth After Work. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, here with Josiah Grauso. He is the Vice President and Senior Investment Advisor at ASC Financial Group. And before the break, we were talking about having a financial junk drawer because today's show is all about what's your retirement plan? Do you have a solid plan in place? And, you know, when I think junk drawer, I automatically think of mine in my house. It's in the kitchen. You know, it's that drawer that has the tape measure and the tape and the random paper clips, all the stuff, right?
It's got everything in there.
And you have one in your house.
Oh, absolutely. Same place, right in the kitchen
right?
there, too.
But the key is we don't want your finances to be in a state of being in the financial junk drawer. So I'm curious because I know that you offer this complimentary retirement income analysis for our viewers. What all goes into that plan? Can you go into a little more depth about what folks are going to receive when they come in and receive that offer from you?
Yeah, absolutely, Kristen. So when you get that retirement income analysis for us, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sit down with you. We're going to take a look at what your dreams, your aspirations. We're going to try to find out what is really important to you. And one of the keys here that I say is this is not advisor driven. This is you driven. Okay. This is a plan that we work on and we build together. Now, one of the things I find, Kristen, is while somebody's working, they're in this mindset of continually to save, save, and save.
Yes.
And then they get into retirement and they're like, can I afford to start taking out this money? I don't know. Do I have enough to be able to do the things that I want to do?
That's a hard psychological transition, right?
It absolutely is, but it is imperative and it is important to understand that we need to kind of go in that because we want to make sure we can do all the things we want to do in retirement. But what I find is often is that they actually need somebody to kind of give them permission. And that's what's so important about this retirement income analysis. We are able to see that we can draw income from steady, predictable sources that we can't outlive. And so that's one of the really important things. But one of the second components to this plan here is a risk management piece of it. We use an independent software called Morningstar, doesn't have any skin in the game. And what that does is it really takes a look at the risk your portfolio is going to have. What will happen if the market's in good times? What's going to happen if the market has a drawdown here? What we call is the worst case scenario. And so, you know, I kind of think of my client, Charlie, who attended one of my financial classes that I teach. And after that financial class, Charlie came up to me and says, you know what, Josiah, I lost a ton of money in 2008 and I had to switch brokerage firms and I went to go see another advisor. He said he made some adjustments and I'm fine and I never have to worry about anything again. But, you know, Josiah, would you mind if I took advantage of getting that second opinion and having that retirement income analysis done?
So wise, right?
So wise. And look, Charlie was really happy he did this because when he came to my office, we went over a list of our questions. And when we had that risk profile, that risk report created, it turns out that Charlie would have lost more money in the current positions he was in now than he ever lost in 2008.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So this really gave Charlie the ability to make some quick changes, adapt the portfolio so that he could breathe and have a sigh of relief knowing that he's okay whether the market goes up or the market goes down again.
That's got to provide such peace of mind, because I think of how many folks were really blindsided in '08, right? And so
Yeah.
to be able to run it through that software and stress test, if you will, it's kind of doing two things, right? Getting your portfolio an x-ray of the current positions you hold, how much risk you're taking, how much you're paying in fees. That's another huge one a lot of folks aren't even aware of until they see the report, right?
Absolutely. Fees are huge. And look, guys, a lot of accounts are going to have fees. Our accounts have fees. But it's important to understand what fees are we paying. And the key is, what are the hidden fees
Yes.
that we don't know about? That's an extremely important conversation to have.
I always say they're like financial termites, right? You want to get rid of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially the ones that are unnecessary out there.
Absolutely. Well, how many meetings should someone be prepared for when they start this retirement income analysis process with you?
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit different depending on who comes in, depending on their complexity of their situation. But one of the things I do like to say at this time here is I like to go as fast or as slow as what you want. But it all starts with really that first meeting is what we call that discovery meeting. This is a time that I really like to sit down with somebody. I like to ask a lot of questions and find out really, again, what are your hopes? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? And this is one of the things I love to do is really then paint that picture. What does a perfect retirement look like for you? And as we start to go through that process, we're also going to be able to see how we are diversified in our investments based on asset classes, based on taxes. We're going to take a look at what your current portfolio is generating in current income and what a potential income source would be. And again, then we're going to also look at that maximum drawdown. And the next time we get together, we're going to be able to go over that report. We're going to be able to highlight out there any red flags that you might have. It's possible you could have one of those perfect plans and there's not much we need to do. But if there are some red flags and you want to fix them, we're going to be able to go over some solutions and strategies to reduce or in some cases eliminate the red flags. And at that time, Kristen, that's when I like to roll up my sleeves and we start going through an educational process with you, an educational process on the entire universe of income producing assets. And only at that time, Kristen, when you are fully satisfied and you're happy with that plan that we work on together, will we start that implementation of the plan. But the last thing is it doesn't stop right there. Your plan is constantly being monitored and we meet often, whether it be at least a minimum of yearly, sometimes semi-annually or quarterly. But the best laid plans, if they just sat there, they're still going to get run over by a train. So they have to be adaptable. They have to be able to change.
Right.
And so again, if you're out there, if you're listening, and this is striking a nerve with you, if you're not too sure what I have in my junk drawer, you don't know if you're protected against that next market drawdown or crash. If you're like Charlie there and you said, you know what? I just don't want to have to worry about these investments. I want certainty and predictability. I'm going to encourage you, give a call at that number below, speak to a member of the team at ASC Financial Group. Let's get together and be able to talk about what is most important to you.
Josiah, thank you so much. Again, this is about what's important to you. What are your hopes? What are your dreams? And how can those become a reality? And it starts by making that phone call with that number on the bottom of your screen to claim your complimentary retirement income analysis. 844-918-4867. Or again, you're also welcome to scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. We'll be back with more on Wealth After Work right after this.
When was the last time you saw your financial professional? Are you getting the most out of the strategy that was created for you? Although you've done a great job finding someone to help plan for your future, are you 100% sure that you were given the right strategy? We can help answer these questions and more with a complimentary second opinion evaluation. We will take a look at what you have in place and then help determine if you're well positioned to get the most out of your future retirement income. In the event that it is not, we can help by making suggestions and showing you how to get on the right path. You wouldn't get just one opinion when it comes to a major health decision, so why would you treat your most important financial decision with such disregard? Call today for your no-cost, no-obligation second opinion evaluation to see if you're getting the most out of your retirement income plan.
Welcome back to Wealth After Work, where today we're discussing what's your retirement plan and do you have all the pieces covered? There's so much that goes into making sure you have a comprehensive, holistic financial plan that is working in your best interests. And speaking of that, Josiah, one of the things that really sets you and the team of ASC Financial apart, well, actually, there's two things. You are independent and you are also a fiduciary. Can you explain to our viewers what those two things mean and why that's so important to know?
Yeah, Kristen, I will say the independent is really, really important here. And one of the reasons why I say that is not every person who walks through our door needs the same thing, okay? And far too often I see people are set up in these kind of what's called cookie cutter approaches.
Right.
I can often have a person enter our office. I don't know their situation. I don't know what they're looking for, but I can see based on their statements, they're going to be from one of these large box firms. I won't mention any names.
Right, one of those corporate firms,
those corporate
right?
large ones, yeah. And without looking at their statements at all, I can tell them basically what those investments are inside. And it actually, people feel like I'm doing this magic show by being able to do it, but it's because how often they just put you into this little matrix here. You see, it is important that you're independent. We are contracted with, we are covered with about 48 different companies. Why? Because everybody who walks through our door doesn't need the same thing from there. We're also fiduciaries. And what that word means is that we need to, by law, do what is in best interest of yours. What sets our firm apart are the advisors that we have. And what I'm going to say is really some world-class advisors that we have. This was all started by my father, Ralph Grauso, who had a vision. And what's great is there couldn't have been a better person that I was able to learn from, to be a mentor, and who I could call my best friend. And what's nice is all of us advisors are rowing in that same boat. We all have the same direction. So whether you're talking to Ralph, whether you're talking to me, whether you're talking to Taylor, it's all the same thing. You're going to get the exact same quality advice. And then what I'm going to tell you is our team, the people behind the scenes who do such a phenomenal job, they're really what kind of motivates and gets everything done. Their client service to our clients are, bar none, absolutely amazing. It's something I really enjoy that we have.
I know you do. And you serve such a wide variety of people throughout northeastern PA as well as western New Jersey. Talk a little bit about where you're located and where all of your client base extends to.
Yeah, so we do work, our main office is going to be in Bartonsville, Pennsylvania. We also have a satellite office up in Moosic, up in that kind of Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area. We have a little bit further south from us as well. We've got a satellite office in Bethlehem. So we really service the entire Northeast. We also service a good area of Northwest New Jersey as well, just over the border from us.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I know that obviously it's never too early to get started in this financial planning process. It's also never too late, but there must be a sweet spot of, we've been talking about building this comprehensive, holistic financial plan. When would you say is the ideal time for someone to really engage with you all and start this process to build a plan for their retirement?
Yeah, what I will say, Kristen, is there's never a too late of a time, okay? But one of the things I do say is the more time we have, the more type of information we can get, we have a chance to maybe pivot and change for some red flags or something that we have. I'm going to talk to you about an unfortunate woman who came in to see me a couple of months ago. She was 68 years old. Her husband was 72, and he was just diagnosed with a terminal case. She wanted to be able to retire from her job, paid her about $142,000 a year to spend money with him, or spend, time with him at the end of his life. And when we went through this process, she said, bare bones, what I absolutely need to live on was around $80,000. But when we got to what she only had about $113,000 saved for retirement. Now, Kristen, I think I do a great job of what I do, but there was nothing I could really do to help this woman. She could have maybe seen me a couple of years earlier, some of that pivot that we can do. There was some chances that we would be able to do out there. And so that's one of the keys that I will say is it's never too late just about to come see us, But the more time we have, the important thing is I'm going to be honest with you, and in some cases brutally honest with you, just to make sure that if we have some major red flags, we have the chance to fix and correct that. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, Kristen. Our money goes through 3 phases. It's the accumulation phase, the preservation phase, and then finally the distribution phase that we have. And as we are working, as we're getting towards the end of that working years, maybe 5 to 10 years before, we start shifting from accumulation. Those are those 401ks, IRAs, 403bs you talked about earlier. These are really growth vehicles. We start shifting from that growth phase to now preservation. We want to make sure that money is there for us when we need it. And then finally, if this is set up correctly, on the day of your retirement, we're able to switch into this distribution phase. And this is an important shift that really needs to happen, because the number one mistake we see most retirees making is they have a same plan during retirement as they did for retirement. And so folks, if that's you out there and you are not sure what your plan is, if you're not sure if I'm doing the same thing I've always done and I don't know if I can get out of it, or do I have enough income to be able to live off of the rest of my life? Am I able to do those dreams, those goals, those aspirations for us? If that word I said, that TR equals I plus G, if that resonates, do we have the income to be able to live our perfect retirement? I'm going to encourage you to give a call at the number below. Speak with a member from ASC Financial Group. We're going to bring you through this retirement income analysis, because one of the keys, folks, we provide solutions and strategies, not products, to achieve your perfect retirement. A retirement built to last. Thank you so much, Kristen. It's been great there. I hope you guys have all had phone at home. I can't wait to be doing this again.
I know. I always love these times together. Josiah, thank you so much. And thank you again for joining us. Again, the invitation is for you to be able to pick up the phone and claim your very own complimentary retirement income analysis. You can do so by calling the number on the bottom of your screen. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. We'll see you next time here on Wealth After Work.